Guys, let's move down to the bottom half of the bracket now. We have Final Boss most likely playing up against Believe the Hype here. Will Final Boss struggle with Believe the Hype's aggressive play style?
You know, I think the new Final Boss play style, that patient, passive play style, is just custom built to beat teams like this. I mean, they're going to let you get aggressive, they're going to let you make mistakes, and they're going to capitalize on it. Unfortunately, I kind of feel bad for the Believe the Hype or the Dynasty that comes into this game.
And Sundance, you were making a weird face there. What are you thinking?
It drives me nuts, guys. You have all the talent in the world, and you sit back and just wait till 2 minutes. Like 2 minutes are going by, and we have one kill. That's not Final Boss. That's Final Boss. That's a different squad. Strong side proved he can still do it. He was your most positive player last event, second most positive player in the whole tournament behind Pistola. Cut him loose. Like, go play the game. Let's see what you guys have. You have the ability. There's no doubt about it. You have the experience. Heretic is here. A map you guys could just run and go nuts on, but no, they're going to sit back and wait. And yes, they should win this, but you know what? I think they could find themselves in a position where, you know, you start to see the cracks in the armor early on where an aggressive team maybe takes a couple of games from them, and then later on they get steamrolled by a talented, aggressive team who's not afraid of losing. Can't be afraid to lose and expect to win.
All right, well, we have Final Boss moving on in our bracket. But, guys, now it's time to talk about the matchup that I cannot wait to commentate on Saturday morning. It's Carbon versus Straight Rippin'. Once again, now we've seen them go at it all season long. Just went 3 games last event. Carbon edging out Straight Rippin' in that first game and then just went on to 3-0 them. Can they upset Straight Rippin' again in Anaheim?
I think they can. I think my answer is going to be yes, but it's a complicated yes because I think it's more about Straight Rippin' not showing up than Carbon being able to upset them. They're not going to sweep them again. I'll guarantee you that. This isn't a 3-0 for either team. I think that this should be a well-fought battle by both squads. I think that Straight will have a lot to prove right here. But here's the added X factor. This is the most important matchup for Straight Rippin' all season long. They win this, everything's okay. They're still good. They lose this, maybe the wheels come off. Maybe some questions start getting asked internally amongst the teammates that they're not ready to answer yet. These guys on paper are still, to me, the best team out there in terms of potential, in terms of skill and ability. The gap is a little bit less than it used to be, though. Triggers Down is right there. You know what I mean? It's almost dead even. But again, there's something about Straight when they play well that you don't see out of other teams. When they play well, they dominate. When Triggers Down plays well, they do what they need to win. They keep the games close and put themselves in a position to win. So Straight Rippin' has got to show up here, or else, you know what? Their whole season becomes a question mark.
Yeah, I definitely think Carbon's able to repeat, but if you go back and look at it, I mean, I felt like some of the games could have gone either way. And Carbon didn't really play the 100% Straight Rippin' that we've seen in the past. So for this one, I'm going to say Straight Rippin's bouncing back and is going to squeeze one out, but, you know, it could go either way.
Sonny, you taking Straight or Carbon here?
I'm going to, with hesitation, take Straight because I think that they are a better squad. If they're both playing at their best, I think Straight's the better squad.
All right, well, we'll have to wait till Saturday to find out. Guys, that's going to do it for the first 2 rounds. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll talk about the 3 matches remaining. Welcome back to the Anaheim Halo 3 Bracket Show. Chris Puckett with Nexi Sundance. Guys, we just got done talking about the first 2 rounds in our winner's bracket. Now it's time to look at our winner's bracket round 3 matchups. The 2 matches we'll be featuring on ESPN Saturday night. In our first match, we have Triggers Down facing off against Classic. That's right, you called the 6 seed to advance to winner's bracket round 3. Can Classic pull off an upset against TD here?
In a word, no. I don't think they can. I think that getting this far will be a huge accomplishment for them if they're able to do that. I think Triggers Down has a pretty soft bracket to this point, so they'll be nice and rested, raring to go, and I think they're going to be super prepared. So I picked them to steamroll through.
Yeah, Triggers Down's only lost to 2 teams. That's Straight Rippin' and the Believe the Hype we saw in Meadowlands. This event, I don't think Classic will gain enough momentum to take out Triggers Down, especially while players like Pistola are playing so hot. I mean, the kid goes positive 18 out of the 20 games he played. And in the off-season, in between events, they haven't stopped practicing. While most teams will take a little bit of break, go to the beach and whatnot, these guys are online playing, especially SK, who just got done competing in that online tournament. He made it to the finals in the free-for-all. This just shows me he's working on his individual skill, and that's pretty much the only thing you could criticize him on.
So both of you guys advancing Triggers Down to the winner's bracket finals?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, now it's time to find out who they will be facing. We have Final Boss taking on Straight Rippin' here, the 4 seed versus the number 2. Final boss, can they take out Straight?
They could if they change their play style. I don't think they can, though, with this lay back and wait play style. I think Straight Rippin' at this point has had a challenge coming into it if they get through Carbon, which we were divided on. But I think that Straight Rippin' right here, has an easier time with Final Boss than they will have had with Carbon.
All right, well, you guys are picking Triggers Down and Straight Rippin'. I think those are two safe bets. That would set up the rematch, Triggers Down versus Straight Rippin'. And remember, the last two times that Straight has met up with Triggers Down, they walked away victorious. Can they do it here in Anaheim?
Yeah, absolutely they can. I mean, they've got Snipe Down on their team, and he's arguably the best player in the league up there with the Pistolas and the Hysterias of the world. But are they going to play up to potential? They haven't been doing it. They've been letting me down. I've been watching them, expecting them to click in. Guess what? The gap in skill is not as wide as it used to be. They can't just coast and expect to be able to come back later in the tournament. They need to play well on day 1, day 2, and day 3, and we haven't seen it yet. They're doing well in the early rounds, and then the second they get challenged, they seem to struggle a little bit. Having said that, first, fourth, that whole thing of them bouncing back, this would be the one where they bounce back. But if they don't, if they struggle with Carbon, they're going to be in a bad place right here. Because guess what? Triggers Down has 3 of the most incredible players in the circuit right now. They got Hysteria, who everybody knows about, but they have the new dangerous duo in Pistola and Hines. I said Hines was the MVP at Dallas, and I'm sticking by it, even though Pistola was a ridiculous performance, positive 141. I mean, who does that? Pistola does, obviously. But I've been a fan of his for a long time, so now I'm on the Hines bandwagon with you. Hines, to me, was consistent, was solid, was flashy when he needed to be, but most importantly, he was that rock that they needed. Those guys gelled. Their strategies were great. On Heretic, I think they could do great things. Obviously, Straight knows that map. They've played big matches on that map, but I'm going with Triggers Down just on momentum and talent.
Yeah, well, I want to go back to a point you made about their placings. Straight Rippin' got 4th. They take a break. They come back and get 1st. Well, guess what? They got 4th again, and they're staying really quiet in between events. Besides Snipe Down, who actually won that free-for-all Heretic tournament that SK played in. This shows me that these guys are really preparing to beat Triggers Down. They're one of the only 2 teams who have done it, so they better get into gear if they want to salvage the season for themselves. Triggers Down's about to win their 3rd event going to the national championships. This could be Triggers Down's season. They could be putting the nail in the coffin of Straight Rippin'.
They could. I mean, this is the whole thing about, we talk about dynasty, and I wanted to crown Straight Rippin' the next dynasty, but guess what? 1 championship and 1 regular season win doesn't make you a dynasty. And that's what they've got going back to last year's championship. Triggers Down right now is the most consistent team. I think that they will be just as practiced as everyone else now that they're getting lands in there. And you know what? I really like the chemistry. I like the squad. I like the talent. Straight, on paper, can hang with anybody, can beat anybody, but in tournament, we're not seeing them play consistent, and that's what you need to do at this point in time.
All right, so Nexy, Sundance is picking Triggers Down here. Do you as well?
I got to go with Triggers Down on this one. These guys are winning tournaments, and they go back, don't stop after a tournament, they continue practicing, and they're still finding weaknesses about themselves. SK going back and working on his individual skill, that just shows me how dedicated they are, and I can't root against that.
All right, well, both of you guys are picking Triggers Down. I'm going the other way. That's right, I'm picking Straight Rippin'. If they go up over Carbon in Winners Bracket Round 2, they will go undefeated in the Winners Bracket, and it will be because Heretic is back in the lineup. Guys, that's going to do it for the Anaheim Bracket Show. I'm Chris Puckett for Sundance and Nexy. Thanks for watching.